Ed Reardon's Week by Christopher Douglas and Andrew Nickolls. Episode 1. Rogue Mail.
Monday. There are few things more conducive to firing a writer's imagination than the prospect of rolling hillsides viewed from the casement window as he, or in this case I, sojourn in a Herefordshire cottage.
There's no need to put a wiggly red line under it. Sojourn is a word. Probably not one you would have come across very often. Sojourn in a Hereford... Oh, it's gone green now. Here comes the smiley paperclip again. Do you mean sorority? No, I do not mean sorority. Chance would be a fine thing. If I'd wanted to put sorority, I'd have taken my laptop to an American cottage with the prospect of rolling branches of Starbucks as far as the eye can see. No. When it comes to finishing a book, your most trustworthy accomplice is the English countryside. And not for the first time. Wordsworth finds himself in agreement with Ed Reardon when he writes, "The earth and every common sight to me did seem apparelled in celestial light." Or in this case, apparelled in the light of the SAS mortar practice. Oh. Or is that the farmer burning another car for the insurance money? That's the SAS, all right. Hastening home for luncheon. Nevertheless, this bucolic sequestration... Don't even think of it, matey. Get back in your hidey hole. Sequestration represents a lucky escape. Even now, I could be haunting the grim corridors and gaudy sofas of daytime television if everything had gone according to my agent's plan.
Ed, what are you doing here?
Hello, Ping. Just thought I'd see if anything's come in.
You're meant to be in the Australian jungle.
I know.
With your head in a bucket of maggots and drinking kangaroo's wee-wee with all the other celebs.
And Shiraz they give you there's bad enough. Anyway, I'm rather choosy about who I spend 6 weeks in a rainforest with.
Oh.
I go there with you. Me Tarzan, you Ping.
But, Ed, it's must-see TV. I'm a Celebrity is so what's going on. It's bigger than Mr. Biggie from Big Show's Big Trousers.
That would account for the bigness of the other contestants' egos, not to mention their unconscionable rudeness.
Anne Robinson's meant to be rude. That's what she does.
And you wouldn't believe what they were all reading. The Da Vinci Code. Obviously, I couldn't allow that to pass unchallenged.
Ed, what did you do?
Actually, I performed a social service. If I hadn't set fire to them, we'd have frozen to death on night 1.
You burnt all 7 copies of the Da Vinci Code.
8, if you include Messrs. Ant and Dex, in a special picture edition for 12-year-olds.
Oh, Ed, you get the biggest break of all the serious novelists this agency's ever represented, and what do you do with it? That Piles ointment commercial was your passport, Ed.
Be that as it may, I'd now like to go back to doing what I do best, please.
Being unsuccessful?
That's rather in your somewhat unkind hands, Ping. Which is why I was wondering if anything had, as I say, come in.
But what did you do with all the money from the Hemerex advert?
I didn't do it. They just used some old film of me.
So gross, sticking a tube of cream right in your...
Yes, I'm aware of the application procedure. Anyway, to answer your question, I invested the money in this.
Ew, what is that?
Turkish meerschaum by Sommer of Paris.
What do you do with it?
Well, light it up, see? It's specially seasoned with whale oil. You can't get these now.
Right.
No, you absolutely can't. Thanks to our friend Political Correctness, and his fellow traveller No Smoking somewhat limits its use. Nevertheless, it's a collectible that can only go up in value. I've got a certificate here stating it was smoked by not only Edward VIII, but also, on occasion, Mrs. Simpson.
Oh, so it's been in somebody else's mouth before yours?
You see this chip on the mouthpiece? Yeah? There's a nice story attached to it. It was made by Edward, or David, as I think I'm entitled to call him, when he was about to announce to the nation that he was abdicating.
Oh, do you know what I mean? I'm just getting over a bug.
Well, you were the one who wanted to watch me eating maggots.
Ed, that's different. It's on ITV1.
Ping, can you... Oh, hello, Reardon. Lost all your piles, lolly, I suppose?
Well, I was on my way back from the airport to Berkhamsted.
Oh, and you thought you'd come 50 miles out of your way and touch us for a fiver. Angel, could you book us a cab to the Connaught PDQ?
I did already, Felix, when you stuck that post-it note on my front and called me ineffable sweetness.
So I did. Ed, have you met my new best friend Lee, publishing director, no less, of Sceptred Isle Books and Cards?
No.
Good to meet you, Ed. I'll give you my card, you never know.
Indeed you don't. Lee is arguably one of our most successful publishers of niche non-fiction with a royal heritage theme.
Yeah, that's right.
Shouldn't Sceptred have a C?
Should it?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I'd had the cards printed by then. There was a queue behind me at the train station.
And Ed, it's fair to say, is arguably one of my most desperate novelists. It's a marriage made in heaven. We're going to lunch, Ed, so why don't you come with us?
Well, it's 3:45 in the morning by my body clock, so, yes, absolutely.
So the first one we published was Royal Boats. That shifted. Then Royal Jewellery, same, Bosch. Royal Cars, that went a bit paired, to be honest, because we put Princess Marina in as a motor.
No, a mistake anyone could make.
But the limited edition of Her Majesty's Raphael sketches, like crap out of a goose, that one.
And what about your latest, Royal Horses? How's that one going?
I'll level with you, Felix. Hardly got out the starting gate, that did.
Well, they have been digging up Ascot Racecourse. I suppose the bookshop there is the main place you'd sell it.
Well, there you are, you see. Ed knows whereof he speaks. Lee's looking for someone to do the text for Royal Stamp Collections.
We're thinking of calling it Postal Panoply.
Yes, very alliterative.
Nah, it'll be mainly pictures, but we'd still be looking for 50,000 words of text.
And what sort of fee would my client be hoping to command?
1,200 notes. Queen's head on every one, God bless her.
My God, Ed, this man's bloody Midas.
I need it turned around by Christmas, and I want respect dripping off every page like ketchup out of a sausage bat, because I've had trouble with you writers before.
Well, I'll need to think about this.
Good boy. Here's the sherbet.
Goes to the Connaught. I only wish we were going your way, Ed.
I thought I was coming with you.
Only to the pavement, not to lunch. You're going to be far too busy researching Postal Panoply. You've only got 4 weeks, you know.
Tuesday. My agent Felix no doubt thought he was doing me a favour by giving me the use of his weekend cottage in which to work undisturbed. What really would have stimulated the creative juices, however, would have been the key to Felix's log shed, or the combination to his liquor cabinet. As a result, I'm both cold and thirsty. Moreover, being a man of taste, Felix's bookshelves contain only first editions and early Penguins, and nary a copy of the Da Vinci Code, which would have made a small, if ill-constructed, fire, or indeed any of the works of Joanna Trollope, which might at least have kept the Aga going for half an hour. Furthermore, the continued non-appearance of the Sceptred Isle commission fee has created further difficulties.
What have you got there, Elgar? Is that another shrew? All right for some. I think that entitles me to your last tin of tuna whiskers. Might saute it with the remains of last night's field mouse. Sort of surf and turf for the self-employed. Right, to work. Nothing was more dear to His Majesty... No. Next to the Dominions. Nothing was more dear to His Majesty's heart than his stamp collection. Collection of valuable stamps. They included stamps from Borneo, Bechuanaland, the Belgian Congo. Do a word count, I think. 7,004. Well, exotic Borneo, beautiful Bechuanaland, and the soon-to-be war-torn Belgian Congo. 7,015. Getting there.
Thursday. With no food, 300 pages still to go, and no access to internet research material due to Felix's refusal to truckle with the notion of a telephone socket, I've got to get out of here. To do so, I've been forced to resort to an old writer's trick.
Postman?
The impecunious author's best method of escape from a rural fastness is to write himself a postcard, wait for it to be delivered, and then cadge a lift to the station in the postman's van.
Here you are then, all right.
Oh, thank you. Still raining, I see. It was a wheeze I first learnt at the feet of Alan Plater, who used it during When the Boat Comes In the early 70s. He once managed to get all the way from a fisherman's hut in South Shields to Hull without even putting a stamp on the envelope. No wonder he's held in such high regard by his peers.
Long way to come for this.
Yes, thank you. Where are you off to next?
Got to drop off this pizza coupon up the top, then I'm going down the bottom with another one, then back into town.
I don't suppose I could possibly,
You after a lift?
Well, yes.
Writer, is it?
How did you know?
We gets plenty of them in the van. I had that Plater chap once. Julian Barnes, an emergency that was, he'd run out of coriander. Dennis Potter, oh, he was once a week. And it's only £1 on the bus to Ross. He might have been a good enough writer, but, whoa, he was tight. Could peel an orange in his pocket.
Yeah, well, juicy, certainly. Anyway, I'm all packed. You've got room for the cat basket, haven't you?
Oh, I expect we can manage.
Right, come on then.
Don't forget your post.
Oh, no.
In fact, my very good friend the postman had not brought me my self-addressed postcard. However, the annoying waste of a 30p stamp was more than offset by the redirected letter from the Royal Mail in Berkhamsted. A Ms. indecipherable in human resources was offering me the chance to take up my regular Christmas duties in the sorting office at a very welcome, not to say essential, £6.50 an hour.
Nice to have you back, Ed.
Hello, Alan.
Would you mind giving Steve here the benefit of your experience? He's new to self-employment.
Right. So, Steve, first you put these racks of credit card offers through. Then, when you get to the Oxfam letters, turn them upside down because they've got a pen inside. And you don't want to jam the rollers. Like this. See, I'll start you off.
What about all these pizza coupons? There must be 30,000 of them.
Yes, and they'll all go to the same address if you don't flick them like this to make sure they don't stick together. Now, there you are. All right. No, don't be tentative, Steve. Go on, give him a good riffle. That's it.
But this is all junk mail. And you've got this machinery costing hundreds of thousands of pounds sorting it, and postmen driving miles to deliver it to people who are just going to throw it away. What's happened?
The conveyor belt's empty. You were talking instead of feeding.
Oh, sorry, it just seemed like a complete waste of time.
There is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so, Steve. And we'd be out of a job if it wasn't for this.
I am out of a job. I used to be a bank manager. Got made redundant. That's the way it goes these days.
Yeah.
As with the integrated mail processor, what goes around comes around. And it was deeply and enjoyably ironic that the man to whom I was showing the ropes on the imp was the same bank manager who had shown me the door when I applied for a mortgage for my flat in Berkhamsted. That day, I had sworn a solemn oath that the next time I saw Steve Gooch, I would kill him with my bare hands.
I can't eat this last piece of fried bread. Do you want it, Steve?
Oh, thanks, Ed.
But time and a substantial breakfast for less than £1.50 are great healers. And in any case, by now he'd have to queue up for the attention of my bare hands behind the publisher of Septodile books, the infant in Threshers who calls me mate, and the entire artist payments department at the BBC. So, it was a moment for truth and reconciliation as we faced each other across the Formica table.
So why are you having to work here?
Well, it's not the easiest thing in the world being a writer, as you may remember from the thrust of my remarks at our last meeting, for which, once again, I apologise.
No, I shouldn't have said that you'd have been better off doing a paper round.
Well, it's just that I had actually come on from a paper round, so it's a bit of a raw nerve. But the point is that I'm now writing a book, which, pending the arrival of a cheque from my publishers, I'm subsidising with 12-hour shifts here.
Yeah, sure got me out of jail. Couldn't have kept up with the car payments otherwise.
You know, if you play your cards right, Steve, and in a couple of Christmases, you might not be an imp-operative trainee, you could be an imp-operative overseer, like me. It's another, 20, 25p an hour in your pocket, you know.
Yeah, that's worth considering.
Because, see, you've got time on your side. And from what I've seen of you so far, you're a good little worker.
Thanks, Ed.
And if your face fits, well, let's just say they get on to me now to come and work here. I don't have to call them.
Maybe we should be getting back.
Yeah, what time is it?
2:30.
Day or night, I'm losing track.
Sunday. Probably. Of course, helping out the post office in its time of need, as well as rushing to deliver the high-quality manuscript that, as a professional, I'm determined Postal Panoply will be, creates a conflict of interest. I learned from the time I was simultaneously writing a play for Fringe Theatre and standing in Aylesbury High Street wearing a sandwich board saying golf sale, that it's vital to manage one's working time, or one or the other will suffer. Accordingly, I've reluctantly decided to reduce my commitments.
And on the jug there, the one and only Mr. Ed Reardon, blowing with his mouth, but for a small consideration, any orifice of your choice.
I just seem to get better and better. Don't know about you, though, Ed.
Yeah, could hardly hear you.
Might as well have put the jug on the table, let the draft blow it. Same time next week, guys.
I can't, I'm afraid. I'm busy.
Oh, well, 7 less pints to pay for.
You? Busy?
So how come you're available, Jazz? Hollywood finally realised you're completely untalented, deported you for crimes against the cinema.
No, got a little job over here. Bit of cocoa for Christmas.
Oh, me too, as it happens.
Another golf sale? Tell me if they've got any more of those trousers. They were good. De Niro was green with MD.
So what's the job, Jazz?
Shooting a commercial for a new credit card. The Conquistador. 2 weeks in Snowdonia, then a day in Acton to do the bank interiors.
Oh, that's nice and festive. Fleecing the hard up. Single mothers on sink estates.
They don't have to ring the number. They can just enjoy the camera work.
Anyway, who was it did an ad for ointment you stick on your chalfont?
Oh, no, Frank. Let the man occupy the moral high ground. Especially now he can sit down and have a picnic on it if he wants. Thanks to his precious Piles commercial.
Well, I'm not going to be able to make it next week.
So, how much are you getting for this, Jazz?
What happened to If You Don't Mind Me Asking?
He's not going to tell you that, is he?
$650.
Oh, gosh, same as me.
Since when did you get paid 650 grand for anything?
Well, doing a book as well, so all mounts up, you know. And the stamp's bright orange colouring makes it arguably the most priceless of all the incorrectly minted Macedonian greens. Oh, God. The charming hexagonal 3 drachma stamp, shown on the left, bears the head of His Majesty's 4th cousin, Alfonso. I think I'll make that exceptionally tall 4th cousin Alfonso.
Hi, darling, it's Ping. Listen, we need to focus on the Royal Stamp Book.
Well, that's what I am doing. And on the same basis as their Majesties, apparently, as an unpaid bloody hobby.
Thing is, Septidile are getting, mega antsy about postal panoply, and Lee's going skiing next week, so he really, really needs to see some chapters, yeah?
Yes, I really, really need to see 1,200 quid, or first instalment thereof.
Ed, nobody gets paid up front anymore. That's the reality, yeah?
Not even Jazz Milvain.
Oh, it's different. He's famous. He won't even get out of bed for less than $500,000.
Oh, God, I'd pay that just to get into bed for an hour or two.
Stop it. We agreed you wouldn't say things like that to me anymore.
No, I didn't mean... Look, I just want to get laid. Paid. Felix gets paid to have lunch. Jazz gets paid to get up. You wouldn't come into work unless there was a monthly paycheck, would you?
Well, actually, I probably would, because it's really cool here, and I've got a sort of private trust thingy. Anyway, so if you could email me the first 200 pages, that would be totally fab.
Incomprehensible as this may seem to a member of the Cheltenham Ladies' College diaspora.
That's an insult, right?
Some of us have to work for a living.
Hey, I work hard too, yeah?
Oh, on what precisely? Booking cabs, nagging your clients, going out to lunch?
Actually, I go out in the evenings too, thank you, Ed. Premieres, first night parties. They don't attend themselves, you know. Standing outside the Big Brother house can get really, really cold.
If you were to pause for one moment between gulps of champagne to consider the needs of your clients, which I realise is beneath you ever since Bridget bloody Jones validated your trivial existences, you would understand that there comes a point when a writer has to say, enough is enough. And if there's... Hello? No, gone. Oh, dear. Well, better to say it than let it all go to waste. Right. Although recognised as a sovereign state by the League of Nations, Transcarpathia issued no stamps. One can only hazard a guess at His Majesty's reaction to this philatelic lacuna. No, I don't mean LA Confidential.
He's gone off again, look.
Oh, poke him, Stan. If I'd wanted to watch people sleeping, I could have stayed at home and looked at Norman.
Think he's been working too hard?
Not by teaching us writing, that's for sure. This course is the biggest waste of £4.
No, I saw him outside the sorting office when I was posting my cards. Wearing an orange bib and having a smoke on the dock.
Maybe we should give him a few minutes then.
So you don't think much of that new card then? What is it, Conquistador?
I'm sticking with goldfish, me.
It's very persuasive literature, though. Picture of a lovely family on the front.
I like that Conquistador advert too.
Oh, yeah, it's beautiful scenery.
Oh, that's to stop you looking at the small print at the bottom of the screen.
I wonder where they filmed it.
Snowdonia.
Oh, hello, he's back.
Right. Sorry, where were we?
You were telling us how to meet that deadline.
Was I? What was it?
Tonight's theme, meet that deadline. Then you fell asleep, so I was telling Olive and Pearl about shopping around for good credit deals.
Okay, right. Deadlines. It's vital to a writer's self-esteem to get a piece of work in on time. Be it an episode of Tenko or...
I tell you what, why don't you get your head down again, love?
Yes, what Stan's saying is far more interesting.
Ed, we've got another 6 racks of these conquistador offers to put through before breakfast. I hope you don't mind my saying this.
Oh, there's a Faroe Islands stamp there. Fancy that. Yes, Steve, you were about to make another of your helpful suggestions.
Well, it's only that if you rotate the rack through 30 degrees, you'd be that much closer to the belt and you could load more on a bit faster. What do you think?
Suggestion noted, Steve. Hello? Quick, press the red button.
Friday. Sadly, my last day at the post office. According to the rules, opening a letter while it's in transit constitutes tampering with Her Majesty's mail. But I like to think that if Anthony Trollope or W.H. Auden had seen a desperately needed envelope addressed to them from their agents coming through the system, they too would have whipped it off the conveyor belt sharpish.
Ed, what are you doing?
I've been waiting for this for a long time.
But that's a sacking offence.
Who's going to report me, you?
Well, it'll be one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. But...
Well, I really don't care, you snivelling little counter-jumper. I do not need any of this now because I've got my 1,200 quid. Oh, for heaven's sake.
My immediate dismissal before I'd had the chance to put my own Christmas cards through the system free of charge. Not to mention the promotion of my underling Steve Gooch to the post of operative overseer. All this would have been bearable had the envelope in question contained my fee for postal panoply, and not merely an invitation to my agent's Christmas party. This setback did at least allow me 8 hours in which to rot myself in ease on Lethe Wharf.
All right. Get some shut-eye, then. And finish the book. Back on the vermin for you, I'm afraid, Elgar. Well, I'll take a carrier bag to the party. Bring back a couple of 100 miniature spring rolls. Maybe some satay sticks to make a fire. Or should I just grasp the nettle instead? I'm sorry, my dear old meerschaum mucker. You may have to go.
Hey, Ed, welcome to the party.
Hello, Ping.
Is that the manuscript in the plastic bag?
It is indeed.
Oh, I knew you could do it, see?
Yeah, I'll keep the bag if you don't mind.
Look, I'm really, really sorry about the money.
Oh, it's all right. I think I might advertise Edward VIII's meerschaum pipe on eBay. That should see me and the cat through the holidays.
The cheque from Lee's in the post, but you know what it's like at Christmas, yeah?
Yes, look, I'm sorry about those harsh words down the phone the other day.
Oh, no biggie. You wouldn't be you if you didn't get a bit McGrumpy now and then.
Sorry, anyway.
Nah.
Can't even remember what I said now.
Ever since Bridget Bloody Jones validated your trivial existence...
What's that?
It's my new ringtone.
There comes a point
That sounds like me.
I'm sorry, is that really, really mean of me? Hi, darling, just push the door and come up.
I say, Ed, you're quite the hit of the party. There's a queue of people here wanting you to do their answering machine messages.
Couldn't afford me.
Yeah, I could do with something like that to frighten my ex-wives. Coven of blood-sucking harps.
On at 3 o'clock the other morning.
Oh, yes, that was awfully clever. Marvellous parody of all those ghastly horror films.
Oh, it's all about serving art and the taxman, isn't it?
I wouldn't know. I never pay any tax.
Ha! Hope you haven't come for money. Won't get it off him. Hangs on to your feet till you've lost your houses and your cars and your boat. And then it's, oh, hello, what's this I've found behind the radiator? Oh, it's your cheque.
You're very, very, very unkind. It's a vile calumny. Have some more mulled wine.
Why not? I'm paying for it.
Ed, I'm going to be very rude and show you to the smoking room because otherwise we'll all die of asphyxiation from that extraordinary pipe. Through here.
All right, just give me a minute.
Ed, we do have plates, you know. There's no need to put all those chicken legs in that bag.
Ed!
Hello, Lee.
I know what you're going to say. You've delivered the book, You've done your half of the bargain, and now you want your dosh. Fair play to you.
I suppose as a royal publisher you don't carry any money with you.
You're right. The cash flow situation has gone a bit pear. But the good news is, you're in the frame for writing Septidal's next publication.
Am I indeed?
Royal Collectabilia. Trinkets, trifles, ephemerals that their majesties have acquired throughout the ages.
Sounds more interesting than stamps, at least.
You're the only man who can do it. Giles Brandreth was sniffing around it, but I told him to stick it up his jumper.
I would need something up front this time.
Of course you would. I can see you're a pipe man.
Yes, I'm doing my best to hang on to it.
Well, I'd like you to have this as a token of Septidal's good faith from the photo shoot.
Good heavens. That looks like a Balkan chabouk.
It's more than that. It's the very pipe that Edward VIII smoked when they told him he'd got to abdicate.
No, it isn't. This is.
I've got the certificate here to prove it. There you are, look, 150% genuine. Yours must be Edward IX or something.
So, whether it's a new house or car, or maybe that well-earned holiday, let Conquistador take you by the hand and lead you and your finances from river deep to mountain high. Conquistador, the clear, fresh air of financial freedom.
And no salesman will call. Subject to status and references, usual terms and conditions apply.
Ah, hello, finally. Now, I'd like a Conquistador card, please. I'm a personal friend of the director of your commercial. I don't know if that helps fast-track my application at all. Now, it says APR 48%. That means I have to pay back just under half of it before April. Would that be correct? Oh.
Ed Reardon's Week starred Christopher Douglas, with Stephanie Cole, John Fortune, Matthew Holness, Martin Hyder, Philip Jackson, Rita May, Geoffrey McGivern, Barunka O'Shaughnessy, Sally Grace and Geoffrey Whitehead. It was written by Christopher Douglas and Andrew Nickolls. The producer was Simon Nicholls.